myself Padmaja, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is outcome-based education, how many COs are there, how many POs are there, and how to do CO-PO attainment for programming for problem solving using C language. Now, let us start with what is OBE first. Now, outcome-based education is a student-centric teaching learning methodology in which the course delivery, assessment are planned to achieve the stated objectives and outcomes. For example, for a particular course, you have to write the course objective and outcomes. So, along with the course objective and outcomes, we have to write down the lesson plan also. So, how to do the or how to deliver the course and how to do the assessment for the course, so that we have to finally check whether we have achieved the objectives and outcomes or not. So, the OBE, outcome-based education, it focuses on measuring the student performance, that is outcomes at different levels. So, what are the different levels of outcomes? Let us first discuss it. Now, before understanding the complete OBE process, first of all, we have to understand a number of terminologies. First thing is called, what do you mean by a course? So, course is defined as a theory or a laboratory course which is studied in a particular semester. For example, here we are taking the example of programming for problem solving using C language, which is a theoretical course and it is also having an associated laboratory. So, whether it is a theory course or a laboratory, it is treated to be a course. So, that is the definition of a course. Next is called, what do you mean by course outcome? Course outcomes are the statements that describes significant and essential learning that the learners have achieved and can reliably demonstrate at the end of the course. That means what the student have learned and achieved in this course, those are the statements that you have to write. And these course outcomes are nothing but well-defined statements written using Bloom's taxonomy verbs. Next is called program. So, what do you mean by a program? A program is defined as a specialization or a discipline of a degree. If a student is doing BTech in computer science and engineering, then it is called a program. Similarly, BTech in electronics and communication engineering, that is also known as a program. That means a student is studying in which specialization or which discipline of a degree or a graduate or undergraduate program, that is called a program. So, it is the interconnected arrangement of courses, co-curricular and extracurricular activities to accomplish predetermined objectives leading to the award of the degree. For example, if a student is studying in BTech Computer Science and Engineering, then there are a number of prescribed theory and laboratory subjects. Along with that, a student has to do a number of co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So, with the combination of all, the student will be achieving the number of predefined objectives for the award of the degree. So, if the student has achieved, then we will say that a student has achieved the program outcomes. So, first of all, we should understand what do you mean by program outcome. So, program outcomes are the narrower statements that describe what the student are expected to be able to do by the time of graduation. If a student is doing BTech in computer science and engineering, then what the student is expected to achieve in this program. So, all these terminologies what we discussed are interconnected. A collection of courses will make a program. Then the program will not only contain the courses, apart from that a number of other activities. So if a student will achieve those goals or the program outcomes a student will achieve at the time of graduation, then the degree should be awarded. So, POs are nothing but the narrower statements which the students are expected to achieve at the time of graduation. So, POs are expected to be aligned closely with the graduate attributes. So you need to understand how many graduate attributes are also there. Now, there are some other terminologies which are important for OBE. One is called Program Educational Objectives, PEOs. So, what do you mean by Program Educational Objectives? These are the statements that describe the expected achievements of graduates in their career, and also in particular what the graduates are expected to perform and achieve during the first few years of their graduation. So we call this as the program educational objective. That means if a student will do BTech in computer science and engineering, then the student, what they are going to achieve in their career, that will be expected, that is expected from the first few years of their graduation. That means how successful they are in their career perspective. So if they are very highly successful in their career, then we can say that we have achieved the program educational objectives. Next is called program specific outcomes. Now, program specific outcomes are the statements where what the student should be able to do at the time of graduation whenever a student is taking a particular branch of study or particular discipline of study. So, it is with reference to a specific discipline. So, usually there are 2 to 4 program specific outcomes we have to define for each engineering discipline. For example, if a student is studying in BTech in computer science, then there are a number of program outcomes which are specified by NBA, followed by every department has to specify 2 to 4 number of program specific outcomes that the students are expected to achieve. Next is called graduate attributes. Now, the graduate attributes are 12 in number and these are specified by the NBA. Now, these are the examples of the attributes expected from a graduate when they are completing a course or a program in a particular discipline. And these expected graduates are in line with the accredited program. So, these are some of the important terminologies that we have discussed. We have discussed about what do you mean by a course, followed by what do you mean by course outcome, then program outcome, then program educational objectives, program specific outcomes, and graduate attributes. Now, let us discuss about the knowledge labels for assessment of these outcomes based on the Bloom's taxonomy. Now, Benjamin Bloom has defined there are defined 6 labels of the assessment for the OBE process. Now, at the lower level of the pyramid, you will see that the first label is called remember label. Then the next is called understand label. Third one is called the apply label. Fourth one is analyze. Fifth one is evaluate. And the sixth one is create. Now, if you will see from bottom to top or to the apex level, you will find that it is the lowest level is called the remember level, where the student focuses on recalling the facts and the basic concepts in each course. Now, after recalling, there are some standard definitions are there, terminologies are there in each and every course. Then the students are expected to remember that as it is. That is called recalling the facts and basic concepts. Then followed by understanding level. Suppose the ideas and concepts are there or certain formulas are there which the students need to understand, and then in the third level a student needs to apply those things for solving different types of problems. So in the apply level, normally the students need to solve certain problems after completion of remembering and understanding level. So the student has to remember the concepts, then the students need to understand the concepts and the formulas, and then at the apply level, student has to apply that for solving various engineering applications. Next level is called analyze level. In this level, students normally normally focuses on how to understand or how to analyze the relationships, causes, and connections between different interdisciplinary subjects and different research oriented concepts. Next is called evaluate. So in evaluate level, normally a student justifies a stand or a position. Like suppose for example, there is some hypothesis is there. If a student has to do hypothesis testing, then the students need to understand whether if they have to go with this hypothesis or they have to reject the hypothesis. So supporting some particular evidence or rejecting a particular evidence in hypothesis testing is highly essential. That is called the evaluation level. Now, at the highest level in the pyramid, we have create level, where the student is required to produce something new. So, it may be a new idea generation or a research oriented concept or a new algorithm formulation. So, that is achieved from a student at this level. So, these are the 6 levels of your Bloom's taxonomy. Based on that, we have to do the assessment. And the assessment are of 2 types. One is called direct assessment and the other one is called indirect assessment. So, let us understand these different types of Bloom's taxonomy labels. First one is called the remember label. It is the most basic label where the student requires minimum amount of or least amount of cognitive rigor. And this is about the students recalling some key definitions, key important definitions and terminologies, and the student needs to understand the meaning of each and every terminology or definition. Next is called, so for if you want to state any objective at this level, remember level, then you have to use certain keywords. Those are called arrange or define, describe, list out, match, name, order, recall, reproduce, and so on. So these are some of the important Bloom's taxonomy verbs we have to use while making the objectives. Next is called the understand level. Now in this level, we normally focus that the students should demonstrate or understand the concepts what they have remembered in the previous level. What are the facts they remembered, they have to understand or demonstrate those things. Now, at this level, students who recalls the definition of a word or terminology, they have to show the understanding of that terminology by using it in a different context. So, if the student has understood or the student has recalled a particular definition or a particular terminology of a particular syntax or word, then the student should demonstrate that how they understood in different context. Next is called, so what are the verbs that are used at the understand level? The verbs are classify, discuss, explain, identify, report, summarize. These are some of the important keywords or Bloom's taxonomy verbs we normally use at this level. Third one is called the apply level. In this label, the students are concerned with how they take up their knowledge, what they have remembered and what they have understood. So they should use that knowledge and they should apply to different situations. So in problem solving, there are different types of domains are there. Various mathematical and engineering applications are there. So what they have understood and remembered in the previous 2 levels, they have to apply it over here. And the Bloom's taxonomy verbs in this level that we use is called apply, calculate, demonstrate, interpret, show, solve, and suggest. So these are the few of the important Bloom's taxonomy verbs we are using at this apply level. So for an undergraduate, we normally expect that the student should reach minimum up to apply level, but student can also go beyond this level also. That means student can go up to analyze level and also evaluate level. But at least these 3 labels must be achieved by an undergraduate student. Now, the 4th level is called analyze. So, analyze is about the students being able to draw some connection between the ideas, or student students are expected to think critically to break down the information into some of its parts, or sometimes by analyzing, the students should reach to a particular conclusion also. So, the Bloom's taxonomy verbs that we use at this analyze level is called analyze, appraise, compare, contrast, distinguish, explore, infer, investigate, and so on. So either using infer verb, you can write the student is inferring some conclusion from a particular algorithm, or the student is finding some new connection between different types of ideas or relationships. Next level is called the evaluate level. In this level will say that a student has achieved or reached up to evaluate level, where the students can make some accurate assessment or judgments about different concepts. Now, student can make some new inferences or find some effective solutions to the problems and justify the conclusions. So, while applying there, the level of knowledge, the level of understanding and applying those concepts. So, whenever a student is expected to reach to a particular level, like whenever the student is in level 5, then all the previous levels are by default applied over there. That means the student has to recall the information, students need to understand, apply, then analyze, and then finally student will evaluate or do the evaluation on a particular concept. So all the labels are interrelated to each other. Next, the keywords or the verbs that we are using at this label are called argue, assess, critic, defend, evaluate, judge, justify. These are some of the Bloom's taxonomy verbs we use at this label. And the highest level is called the create level, that is called a level 6. Now, at this level, this is the ultimate level or aim of the student's learning journey. And this level is very difficult to achieve for an undergraduate student. So, this level we normally expect for a postgraduate or for a PhD student also. So, extraordinarily talented students can also reach to this level at their undergraduate itself. So, whether a student is reaching to which level, that depends on their thinking abilities. So, this is the ultimate level of students' journey. So, at this final level of Bloom's taxonomy, students demonstrate what they have learned by creating something new, either tangible or conceptual. So, this might include, for example, writing a new report or creating a new computer program or revising a process to improve its results. So, these are some of the examples what we are expecting from a student at this create level. Suppose a student is taking a research-oriented project and implementing with a new algorithm or new idea or creating a new algorithm and justifying the results at this level by analyzing it and then by evaluating it, then we'll say that a new label or then the student has created a new program or student has written the outcome of that project is maybe a paper which is internationally recognized, then we'll say that the student has reached to the create level also. So, what are the Bloom's taxonomy verbs? One is called compose, your construct, create, devise, generate, organize, plan, and produce. These are the Bloom's taxonomy verbs that we have to use at the create level. Next, after understanding the Bloom's taxonomy labels to do the assessment of the outcomes, let us understand what are the 12 graduate attributes in OBE process. So, these 12 graduate attributes are defined by NBA and we are following these attributes for COPO attainment. So, the first attribute is called engineering knowledge. Next is called problem analysis. Then design and development of solutions, conduct investigations of complex problems. Then we have modern tool usage, then the engineer and the society, environment and the sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork. Then followed by communication, project management and finance, lifelong learning. So these are the 12 graduate attributes in OBE process available. Now, we should understand what is the first graduate attribute, that is called engineering knowledge. Now, in this particular PO, that is called program outcome, so what we understand that the student should apply the knowledge of mathematics, science and engineering fundamentals and any engineering specialization for solving or for providing the solutions for various complex engineering problems. That means this is the first graduate attribute where we expect from the students that after understanding the different core subjects that they are studying, the mathematical subjects, science subjects, engineering subjects, what they have studied, the fundamentals, they should apply it in various domains for solving the complex engineering problems. The second one is called problem analysis level. Now, in this level, the students should identify, formulate and study research literature and analyze the complex engineering problems, reaching to substantiated conclusions using the first principles of mathematics, natural sciences and engineering sciences. So this particular graduate attribute is dependent on the first one. That is, after applying the engineering knowledge only, the student should be able to identify, formulate or work on the literature to analyze the problems, and they have to come to the conclusion that how to do problem analysis. So for this label, the student should understand various mathematical, natural sciences and engineering sciences also. So it requires different domain expertise. The third level is called design and development of solutions. That in this level, we expect that the students should provide some design solutions for complex engineering problems and design the system components and or processes that meet the specified needs with the appropriate consideration for public health and safety, cultural, societal and environmental conditions or considerations. So here in this particular graduate attribute, we expect the student should produce or develop some new solutions for the engineering problems or engineering applications by keeping in mind the health and safety, the cultural, societal and environmental considerations. Next is called how to conduct investigations of complex problems. So this particular graduate attribute should be achieved because the problems that cannot be solved straightforward by applying the engineering knowledge or theories or techniques that are applicable to engineering discipline that may not have any unique solution. So for that, the student need to further investigate for those complex problems which cannot be directly solved by applying the basic or fundamental engineering principles that requires more investigation at this level. Next is called for solving various engineering and mathematical applications. The student should use the modern tools. So what is modern tool usage? So in this level, in this graduate attribute, students are expected to create or select or apply various techniques or resources or modern engineering and IT tools, including prediction and modeling to complex engineering activities with an understanding of their limitations. So where to apply what kind of tool and how to apply these tools for various engineering applications, students must learn at this level. The next graduate attribute is called the engineer and the society. These two, what are the roles and responsibility of a student in this society that the student should understand. So here, the student should apply reasoning informed by the contextual knowledge to assess the societal, health, safety, legal and cultural issues and the consequent responsibilities relevant to the professional engineering practice. So, student is not only getting a degree in a particular discipline or particular engineering course, but the student must be a good professional and student have some responsibility towards the society. So the student should understand the societal needs related to and the other areas related to health, safety, legal, cultural things, and so on. So an engineering graduate is an all-rounder, your professional, where the student have a big responsibility towards the society also. Next is called the environment and the sustainability. Now, students should understand the impact of the professional engineering solutions to societal and environmental context and demonstrate the knowledge and the need for sustainable development. So, the students should have responsibility towards the environment also. Next is called ethics. So, what are the professional ethics? What are the human values? What are the self goals and how to work together in the society? The student should understand the different types of ethics also. So, apply the ethical principles and commit to professional ethics and responsibility and the norms of the engineering practice. So, in the society, an engineer should be a good human being and professional by nature, should have concern regarding the society and also the environment. Next is called individual and teamwork. So, students must function effectively as an individual and also should have the leadership qualities to work in diverse teams and in multidisciplinary settings. So, we are looking for the students' qualities where students should be an effective professional as an individual and also an should have effective leadership qualities when they are working in teams. Next graduate attribute is called communication. So the student, whatever the things they have learned in their engineering courses, the student must communicate effectively on complex engineering activities with the engineering community and with the society at the large, such as being able to comprehend and write effective reports and design documentation. The student should make effective presentations and give and receive clear instructions. So, communication, different types of communication at this level is very important. Whether it is written communication or oral communication, students should learn that in this particular attribute. Next is called project management and finance. So, the students must demonstrate knowledge and understand the engineering and management principles and apply in their work. As an individual or as a leader in a particular team to manage various projects in multidisciplinary environments. So, students should have project management calibers and also students should have the finance management capabilities. Next is called lifelong learning. So, what a student is finally going to achieve? The student, we are expecting that they should be a good human being with good ethics and they should sustain with their knowledge for a long-term career. So, lifelong learning is important. Students should recognize the need in the industry and should have the preparation and the ability to engage in independent and lifelong learning in the broadest context of technological changes. So, whenever a student is changing from one project role to another project role, then how the student is adopting the new technologies and how they are learning with respect to the context of the new project, those are called lifelong learning goals are also required. So, for developing their career in multiple paths or multiple disciplinary, everywhere the students need to learn new things and they should have that ability to prepare themselves for the new roles. So, these are the 12 graduate attributes in the OBE process. Now, we have already discussed the Bloom's taxonomy labels. Now, in short, we can see the list of verbs that are used or that are defined by Benjamin Bloom. So, in different labels, one is called the remember label, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate and create. So in this label, a number of verbs are given. So whenever you are defining these statements for PSOs or POs or for COs, you should use this Bloom's taxonomy verbs. Now, let us understand in this course, let us understand the course called Programming for Problem Solving using C language. So in this course, how to write down the course overviews, objectives, outcomes, PSOs, and how to do the COPO mapping. So first let us talk about what is the overview of this course. So normally for any particular course, we have to first write down the overview. And here the course Programming for Problem Solving using C language emphasizes the problem solving aspects in C programming. Now, this is one of the fundamental course and it is interdisciplinary in nature for all engineering applications. Now, the student must understand the programming language, the programming concepts, the loops, how to read data, how to write data, how to make use of file concepts, control structures, arrays, functions, and so on, how to use the various data types, the structures, unions, file handling. These are the various concepts the students must understand in this course. And the students should have adequate knowledge to solve the problems in various domains after learning this course. So this is the overview of the course. And for understanding this course, what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite is students should have the knowledge of basic mathematics. And this course is evaluated using SE examination, semester end examinations, and the continuous internal assessments. So 70 marks is given for SE examinations and 30 marks is given for CIE examination. So this course is evaluated for 100 marks. And next is called what are the different delivery methodologies or instructional methodologies. So a lecturer or a professor has to use either the PPT mechanism or use open-ended experiments, quizzes, the seminars or the assignments, various video lectures, so on to deliver this course to the students. So next we will talk about the cognitive level of the students. So if you will talk about the Bloom's taxonomy labels, so here the remember level only around 15 to 20% is at the remember level and 25% of the course is at the understand level, followed by the students need to apply the concept for solving various problems. So around nearly 58 to 60% we expect the students to apply the concepts what they have learned in this course. And if a student will achieve these three labels, because it is a fundamental course, so we expect the students to go up to apply level in this course. Then, what are the course objectives are there? So, the students will try to learn how to do problem solving using programming. So, what are the programming concepts they have to apply, where they need to apply control structure, where they need to write a function, where they need to write a structure and union or array. The student has to learn that. For solving various problems, what are the programming constructs are required? That is the first objective. Second thing is that, so for a programming language, whenever you are solving a particular program, then a student need to read a set of data. Stepwise refinement they have to do, and they have to apply the concepts of loops, functions, control structures, arrays, pointers, file concepts. So where they have to apply these concepts and how to do reading and writing of data and how to do problem solving, the students need to learn that. And the third one is called how to write or build efficient programs in C language, which is required for lifelong learning and for their future programming or for their future career in the engineering discipline. So what we expect that at the end of the course, the student should be able to write efficient C programs for various problem solving. Next is called what are the course outcomes are there. So during this course, whatever the student has learned, what are the outcomes we are expecting from the students. So after successful completion of the course, the students should be able to develop the algorithms and draw the flow charts for solving various engineering and mathematical problems. Second one is called the student should identify, compile and debug programs using C language. And third one is called students should outline the different data types in a computer program. Next outcome is they should construct different programs involving the decision making statements and control structures or loops. Next is called students should explain the difference between the call by value and call by reference mechanism in functions and how to do parameter passing also. And students should interpret the various types of functions, parameters, written values while using the function concept for solving engineering or complex problems. Next is called the student should demonstrate the working of the different types of arrays, single dimensional, multi-dimensional arrays, and how to use the character strings and array of strings for solving the problems. Next is called student must illustrate the dynamics of memory management, how to do memory management, static memory management and dynamic memory management with the help of pointer concepts. Next, the student should define the data types, the usage of structures, unions, enumeration, type depth concept to solve various types of problems. Next, the student must interpret the file input and output functions to do integrated programming. And the students must utilize the algorithms in C language to do real-time solving of various computational problems. And students should show their confidence for self-education and ability for lifelong learning and required for the computer languages. For their career, what is the importance of programming languages they must understand through this course. And if you will see the competency label at the end of the course, you will find that most of the labels are either understand or apply. Now, how the program outcomes are assessed. So for assessing the program outcomes, we have taken here 4 graduate attributes or POs, PO 1, 2, 3 and 5. The one is called the engineering knowledge, then problem analysis skills, then design and development of solutions, followed by modern tool usage. And this engineering knowledge you can assess by conducting either the CIE exams, continuous internal assessments or end semester examination. Similarly, the problem solving skills, the design and development of new solution can also be assessed through your CIA or CIE or SE examination. Similarly, the modern tool usage, how far they have learned how to use their different types of softwares or tools that you can assess by giving them number of open-ended experiments. Then, what are the program specific outcomes for learning this course? So, whenever they are learning this particular course, they have to achieve PSO 1 and 3. PSO 1 says that the students must understand, design and analyze computer programs in the areas related to problem solving through programming. And these things can be assessed. PSO 1 can be assessed through tech talks and open-ended experiments. Similarly, PSO 3 talks about how to make use of modern tool usage for creating innovative career paths. So that they can be a very good entrepreneur or they should have the desire for higher studies. So that can also be assessed through their open-ended experiments and tech talks. Then there should be mapping of each CO with POs and PSOs should be done. Each CO should be mapped with one or more number of POs and PSOs. So in this table, you can see how the CO-PO mapping has been done. Then why you have mapped a particular CO with a particular PO or PSO, for that justification is given here. So you should write down the justification for CO-PO mapping and how many key competencies it is going to achieve. That also you have to identify the number of key competencies for CO-PO attainment. So you can, in this table, you can see that each CO is mapped with their respective POs and how many key competencies we are going to achieve through this. Then followed by, we will now keep an count of the key competencies which is required for CO, PO and PSO mapping. So this table talks about the total count of the key competencies that you have mentioned in the earlier table with the total count it is showing. So you can see here each particular CO is mapped with how many key competencies in the respective POs and PSOs are given in this table. Next, followed by the same, in the previous table we have mentioned the count of the key competencies. In this table, we are writing the percentage of key competencies for COPO mapping or COPSO mapping. So the earlier table is simply converted here into percentages. So finally, we are writing the course articulation matrix for COPO mapping here. So in this COPO mapping, after doing the writing, we are assessing in the scale of 3. So if you will see that a particular PO is achieved or not with the help of the particular CO, you can see that what is the average score. So if the average score is 3.0, so you can see the scale here. If you are getting the range, the 40 to 60%, then you have achieved moderately. If it is from your less than 40%, 5 to 40%, then it is very low, attainment is low or slightly you have achieved. If it is below 5%, 0 to 5, that means there is no correlation between your CO and PO. And if your COPO matching score is 60 to 100%, that is in the scale of 3, then it is substantially, there is high correlation between the CO and PO and you have achieved it. So that is called high correlation is there. So 0, 1, 2, 3 are the respective numbers that is given. 0, whenever we find a 0, we understand that there is no correlation. If it is 1, then it is low correlation. If it is 2, then medium correlation. And if it is 3, then it is high correlation. So from this course, you can understand, first is PO 3.0 you got. So high correlation is there. 2.71, it is also high. 2.5, it is also high. Similarly, PSO, this is PO 12, you got only 2.0. So 2.0 means moderate correlation is there. PSO 3 is also 2.0. So it is moderate correlation is there. So you have to understand like this. So different types of assessment methodologies are there. Direct and indirect assessment methodologies are there. So indirect assessment, we have the CI exams, SE exams, different assignments, seminars, laboratory courses. We take the Viva for the students. We conduct mini project. We encourage them to do certification courses and so on, tech talks and so on. So these are called the direct way of assessing the students. Similarly, we have indirect assessments are there. So where we take the early semester feedback and end semester feedback for assessing the students. Then next table indicates what is the syllabus that they are going to study in this course. So the syllabus comprises of 5 modules. So each module is having interconnection with the next module, and in a particular hierarchy, the students are learning this course. Followed by, we will find the textbooks and the reference books what the students need to follow. At the end of this course descriptor, you will find how you are going to deliver this course, that is called course plan is given. And this course plan is divided into 40 lecture hours, followed by 15 problem solving, your 5 definitions and terminologies, 5 question bank discussion, and followed by your feedback should be taken for this course. So this is called the planning or schedule. This course is expected to be completed with total 65 classes. So this is all about the planning of the course programming for problem solving using C language. So in this video, we have discussed about what do you mean by OBE process, the basic terminologies in the OBE process, then 12 graduate attributes, Bloom's taxonomy label, Followed by, we discussed about the course description of a particular course that is called Programming for Problem Solving using C language. Thank you so much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.